Well, joining us today, Father David Ross. He's, of course, the Director of Community Engagement at LCC, and we're going to talk about things that have been changing, the infrastructure and things in Lima. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Holly. It's a great day to be with you.
Well, let's talk about this because we've seen some improvements like downtown, the roundabout, and some, parking and other things like that. And you wanted to talk about that, I assume, because you felt it was a positive point that things are happening?
Indeed. It was an inconvenience for a while, but it was well worth everything. I'm looking at, for example, the street paving, and of course, some additional places where people can live, the Metro Center and spots like that. There's, of course, the amphitheater. That's going to be a phenomenal contribution to our downtown area. If you look down Spring Street, that it's closed off right now, but I think John Hapey is going to have some plans there on Spring Street to make a little boulevard area where people can sit down if they're going to the amphitheater. And look at that, the GME program down at St. Rita's. St. Rita's has expanded immensely over there and brought a lot of other people into town. But Memorial has done the same thing with their new Welcome Center right in the front. Of course, Rhodes has done a marvelous job downtown, haven't they? Bringing all kinds of people down, and those folks go to our restaurants. And of course, I like the roundabouts until you get into a wreck. Isn't this interesting? Even in the north end of Lima, Casa Luau sat there for quite some time waiting for somebody to purchase it. Thank God another restaurant's going to go in there. And there's all kinds of people who come down from Putnam County to use those restaurants. At Lock 16, Casa Luau. We've got so many great things going on in Lima. But here's what happens. I will hear from people in the city how terrible some things are in our community. But things are getting better all the time, not only in terms of our infrastructure, but I think all kinds of other things that are happening in the community in terms of stuff at Jameson Manor or at the Symphony. There's just so many great things happening. And I think if we create a positive environment, a mindset, it's only going to get better as time goes on.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the Lima area and like their attitude a lot of times. I mean, things are happening at the Civic Center and, art space, and we have so many different things. People, I just always think maybe big city is always better no matter what we do for our, medium-sized town like Lima.
Well, for the size of our community, it's phenomenal. I remember going to the Symphony, and I used to be on the board. I remember going to the Symphony, it was about 4 years ago, and I was sitting there for one of the concerts, and in front of me was a physician who had recently come from Philadelphia. And we got in a conversation, and he said, Father, he said, the reason I came to Lima, Ohio, to be at the hospital here at Lima, Ohio, is precisely because of the Symphony. You have a symphony here that is just phenomenal. People come from all over the area to participate in the symphony. I mean, to play in the symphony. He said, it's just absolutely phenomenal what we have here in Lima, Ohio, and how cost effective everything is in our community. It's just unbelievable from my perspective.
Mm-hmm. I think sometimes you don't appreciate when it's in your own backyard, I guess, or you don't even look for it. But we have these things in our own backyard.
And, if you want to go to other places, I know people, I used to think that it was a long way when I was a kid to drive to Delphus to see my grandfather. Why, my heavens, people will drive 2 hours to Columbus just to go to a restaurant now, won't they? Or they'll drive to Toledo or to Fort Wayne. I even know people that drive to Indianapolis just to go to a restaurant. Well, we've got some great things happening here in Lima, and I think we need to celebrate this fact and publicize it more than perhaps it is already being publicized.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of small business owners investing in the community, and, these investments are being made, even, the municipality, Lima, for, the roundabout and stuff that, we need to appreciate it. And like you said, be positive about it all. That's
my thought. Again, I hear from people outside of Lima who are sort of envious that the cost of living is sort of low here in Lima. And we've got all kinds of amenities that they'd have to travel all the way across town in Columbus or Cincinnati to get. So I celebrate the fact, and I'd like others to join us in this effort to celebrate Lima, Ohio.
I agree. Let's celebrate Lima. Great stuff, Father. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Holly. Have a good day.
You too. All right, don't go away. Need Edition continues in a moment.
It's here this weekend, Christmas and October Craft Show. Come enjoy, celebrate, and shop at over 280 art,